Now let me start by saying, this is some cringe-ass shit, and yet at the same time it is also pretty goddamn awesome. Though I will also critique the realism of this, because Creepy Joe has his eyes open here, and as we saw during the climate summit, that is not a frequent occurrence. I think many of you have probably already seen this thing right here. I'm gonna tempt the copyright strike from Japan by trying to play it. This is a, and it's not very cooperative at all, this is a tweet made by Paul Gosar, representing the Arizona 4th District. He is an American Republican, and he made himself a Shingeki no Kyojin edit to, you know, kind of hype himself up and make him look awesome and all that. Classical stuff, but man, the reaction this caused. And it is not very interested in playing at all. Well, watch the beautiful spinny wheel, I guess. It's pretty cool in one way, yet it also channels Hello Fellow Kids to a frightening degree. Any anime fans out there? Though, granted, Shingeki no Kyojin is a pretty good choice for all of this. Admittedly, I suspect that the choice was made simply because it was ridiculously popular, and one aide or another on the person's staff probably made this edit. The guy himself, I would be very surprised if he had the faintest clue about what anime is in general, not just Shingeki no Kyojin. But the idea of using this to make a political point, oh, it's not a rarity, is it? And this is where we get into the interesting thing, because again, Shingeki no Kyojin is a very good choice for a Republican to use, because, well, it goes out pretty hard against the ideas of the modern-day Wokist left, treating people like monsters for the perceived sins of their ancestors, sins that they themselves, incidentally, resolved, like colonialism and slavery. Both horrible things, but horrible things that we fixed as well. And yet, of course, the modern-day political wokist cannot stop banging on about slavery and colonialism. Never mind, again, the fact that these are problems centuries in the past. Never mind, again, that these are problems solved by the very self-same people that they are now bitching at. And Shingeki no Kyojin makes not only those points, but many other points as well. And the beauty of it is all delivered via in-universe storytelling. That's the thing. You can absolutely have a medium with a political point, so long as it is told within the universe of the world. Any further political significance that the audience wishes to place upon the work, well, that's entirely their own business. And to be fair, Shingeki no Kyojin probably had some overt ideas that it wanted to present as well. And that leads us to the interesting point. I did another video on this quite a while ago now with the Fire Force manga, where the creator of Fire Force decided to have a couple of chapters discussing Tamaki, the Lucky Lecher, and her exposure rate, and having a bunch of concerned feminists, you know, just chiming in a little bit. Oh, isn't this shameful? This is just perversities. Ecchi. Oh my heavens. I do like how we've returned back to the original idea of free the nipple here, but oh well. And anime has been one of these mediums that has had more pushback against wokeism than, well, pretty much any other medium, frankly. And even that, it's only now beginning slowly but surely. However, they're not as bound hand and foot by Twitter as we are over here. As you can probably anticipate, the representative's tweet caused quite the bit of an outrage. 16.2 thousand quote tweets. A lot of people were very angry about this, and the best part of it too was Oh, you can't politicize anime? Keep your bigoted right-wing hands away from it. Which is very funny, because of course this has been a pretty damn rolling theme in translation of anime over here in the West. Fun animation probably being the most obvious one. The Kobayashi-san no Maid or Dragon, for example, bringing up patriarchy. Or the Funnimation's Prison School dub, where they suddenly threw in a Gamergate reference and then, well, they made the non-apology. Neither the dialogue in our show nor the personal statements of our actors or writers reflect the views or opinion of Funimation. The dialogue that we greenlit, that we allowed and we pushed for, does not in any way represent us. Oh yes, most assuredly. Because I had a little bit of a thought about this. Should the Fire Force mangaka be condemned for bringing what is literally real-life politics into his creations? A couple of years ago I would have said a strident yes, because we need to remove as much real-life politics from our entertainment as possible. But the thing is, again, like I demonstrated here with these various screenshots from animes with very obvious virtue signaling, woke gambler inserts of a very particular leaning. We didn't fire the first shot in this conflict. God no. This was started years and years and years ago, and it was all fine. Oh, we can do this. We're allowed. We can put in our politics, because our politics isn't political, you see. It's merely protecting things, like putting in various far left-leaning messages. Isn't politics, because it's just good. It's just positive. And at the end of the day, the only way we're going to have any kind of pushback against this is by looking at stuff like this and go, yeah, go ahead. We're going to play by your rules for a while, and let's see what happens. And more and more and more as well. This is the key thing. You got to apply the same standards to the opposition as you do to yourself. If you see the opposition continuously violating those standards, eventually you've got to start going, okay, well, if that's how the game is going to be played, we'll accept it. Now, that doesn't mean you yourself have to do it. If you're creating something or clipping something, making memes, making edits like this, you're under no moral obligation to do it, yet at the same time, we should not be critiquing those who do it as well. Turnabout is fair play and all that. So why not? And hell, again, Shingeki no Kyojin is probably one of the best animes for the Republicans to latch onto, as it echoes a lot of their sentiments, absolutely. Granted, in a fantasy world where giant monsters are eradicating the poor isolated dregs of mankind, or are they the poor isolated dregs of mankind? See, that twist got a lot of flack, and I'm very much so kind of like 50-50 on him myself. On the one hand, it was a fantastic twist that I didn't see coming at all. On the other hand, it was also such a complete and utter whiplash as to make certain plot points like the giant themselves seem a little silly in their own way, but nevertheless, pretty damn good. I applaud this, I absolutely do, though I will also criticize one thing, namely that who can reply. People at Rep Gosar follows or mentions can reply. Turn that off immediately. This is getting so much traction, it is getting so much fire, ride it. Allow the replies, allow all of the salty, whiny little bastards in the comments. Encourage it. And then post a witty little retort afterwards. Because this is one of the problems that the Republicans in the US have. Whenever they come onto something like this, they never just push it. Though, I will admit that too is starting to change a little bit. Let's go, Brandon. It's a pretty wonderful example of that. I tell you, Joe Biden might actually be the best thing that has happened to the Republican Party since, Lincoln. More or less. And it's all going to happen because of anime. Ah, what a beautiful timeline we live in. I heartily support this, and I wish to see more of it. Hell, Pop culture is already a cultural battlefield, might as well start fighting back, and maybe, ideally, in a few years of mutually assured annihilation, we can both agree to just, hey, take a step back and just start making entertainment again. Wouldn't that be lovely? If you like the video, please do remember to like and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And until next time, I have been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and let's go, Brandon. Have a good day.